What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. It is Wednesday, September 17th, day number 72 inside the Big Brother house. Now that we have gotten past the Veto renom drama, where do the votes stand as the house gets debate what is best moving forward? But then, of course, we have not gotten past the Veto renom drama as Morgan and Vince continue to go at it. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video, you'll never miss a stream. Speaking of, we do have an episode tonight. We haven't had one in a while now, as there was no episode on Sunday. Tonight will be the HOH competition, the nominations, and I assume the veto competition and renom ceremony. So that's going to be a big episode tonight. We'll have a big episode tomorrow, which will be the eviction episode. So a big 2 nights of Big Brother here as we make our way on towards finale. Tomorrow is the double eviction, so it should be a lot of fun. We'll see how they kind of spread things out. It is a 2-hour episode tomorrow, so we might even get some of the things on Thursday's episode, like the veto meeting and things like that. But there's a lot to get through on tomorrow's episode, like a blockbuster, an HOH, a veto competition, maybe even a whole nother blockbuster. We don't know how many nominees there will be during this double eviction either. So there's a lot to kind of go over in tomorrow's episode. So we'll see how it gets spread out. But if you want a place to hang out and watch this all go down, we will be here live on the channel. So come on and hang out. The watch parties are always a good time. To give you a little recap, though, if you guys haven't been keeping up with everything going on, some of the stuff we'll see on tonight's episode, Vince won HOH and he nominated Ava, Kelly, and Keanu. Despite heavy push to put up Lauren, Morgan then wins the power of veto for the 3rd straight week. And after several long nights of crying to each other, Morgan used the veto to save Ava, and Vince was forced to nominate Lauren as the replacement nominee. Another long night where Morgan and Vince cried to each other all night long took place yesterday as we were recording the update. They were still up and talking about how much they just have all this drama about putting Lauren up on the nomination block. Even though it's already done and over with, they are still talking about it. The big convo now is Morgan is regretting using the veto after Vince tells her that she blew up his game by making him put up Lauren. And she said she wished she had told him that. He did. She said this is the worst decision she's ever made in this game. She can't take it back. She's the worst person she knows. Vince is going on saying like, "Oh, you're not, right? It's fine." But they just kept going back and forth about how much she messed up his game, how much she feels bad about messing up his game. And you guys know it at this point. They just go on and on and on. Eventually in the morning, though, we do get Morgan telling Vince that she needs to talk more about what happened last night because it was really heavy and even triggering for some of her past issues that she's had. And one of the big things she was talking about was him kind of threatening some of the post-show stuff that would be happening with them being friends, long term, and saying how, this kind of stuff can really mess up his game. It can mess up his game with Lauren, and just how everything was just so messed up with all of the stuff going on. Which here's the thing. To be fair, both Morgan and Lauren did that to Vince at different times throughout this week as well. So it's kind of one of those things. They're all just doing it to each other, and they were basically yelling at each other in the HOH room early yesterday morning, just kind of going back and forth about all the stuff that was happening last night, all the stuff that's been happening, and they just keep going back and forth nonstop with all of these issues they've been having. Even at one point, like Morgan was getting a shower and they're like yelling over the sound of the water. Here's the thing, some of it was actually about evicting Lauren over Kelly and Keanu this week on tomorrow's episode. So they were kind of going back and forth about like whether or not that's even a good idea. And Vince told Morgan, listen, Lauren might put both of us up, right? That's a possibility now that I put her on the block. She might go and nominate the two of us. Now, Morgan thinks, well, if she's going to put us up, might as well, she should go then, right? And he's like, you know what? F it then. You know what? Yeah, let's evict her. Let's send her on out. I was aiming for sixth place anyway. Vince asks Morgan, what's the point? What's the point even putting her up on the block if we're just going to keep her anyway? Right? Might as well send her. And Morgan says, like, they don't have to keep her, right? We can send her then, right? Like if that's what you want to do, might as well, right? We can just send her. And Vince is like, that's even worse. So it's like they just keep going back and forth with all this. Here's the bigger thing. While all this was happening this morning outside of the HOH, Lauren was playing chess with Kelly. She overheard the yelling. I don't know how much of it she could really make out about what they were saying, but of course there was an argument going on in the HOH room, so she's very aware of the raised voices. Kelly kind of comforted her as she was kind of crying. Eventually, Kelly went into the HOH being like, hey, Lauren's out there waiting. Like, don't leave her. Right? Like, what are you doing? And they actually like kicked her out. And Vince said to Morgan after she left, he was like, get the F out of here. Like, what are you doing? We're having a conversation. And they just keep going on. But eventually he's like, listen, we can't keep just going over and over this. And, they hug it out like they do. Eventually, Lauren got her chance to come on in, and she was worried that Morgan wants her out. And Vince is like, no, no, that is not what was going on in here. But, I did kind of guilt trip her. I'm going to be honest. I was kind of guilt tripping her a little bit. And I was sorry about that. So that's really what that was more about than anything else. And Lauren ended up just kind of continuing the conversation about, what was going on. And Lauren said that, with the whole vote and everything, they should end up keeping Kelly over Keanu. And Lauren tells Vince that like she needs to win the blockbuster. If she wins the blockbuster, they have to vote Keanu out. And that, if he's willing to do that, like this is a really good move. And Vince actually tells her, like, yeah, I'm kind of strongly leaning that way of keeping Kelly and voting Keanu out. But if it's a tie, right, like I'll end up doing that. Keanu's just, too strong in this game. And we just got to get rid of him, right? We got to get rid of him, right, Lauren? Absolutely. And she says, like, here's the thing, like, if you don't do this, right, like, we're probably back to square one, and I'm not going to trust you anymore. And that's something I won't forgive. Like, you got to keep Kelly, Vince, or we are done. Like, this will be another time that you have turned your back on me. So once again, Vince finds himself in another little pickle here because he has promised that he would keep Keanu in many other conversations. Now we ended up getting Morgan having a little bit of a chat with Ashley where she kind of goes over everything that was going on with Vince, not only last night but this morning and just everything that was happening. And Ashley's like, the renom is done. It's over. It's Big Brother. We're playing for $750,000. She's like, what's going on? They just met a few weeks ago. Like, is he in love with Lauren? Like, what is it? Is that the true showmance? And Morgan's like, no, don't say that. He has a girlfriend. That's I kid you not. You could not write it any better. Eventually, though, Morgan tells Ashley that she's annoyed about everything that went down and how she reacted to everything after using the veto. And she's like, I just had to kind of sit myself down and be like, you are being upset because you hurt Vince's feelings, but you made the best move for your game. So just kind of relax, chill, like stop giving yourself this much grief over just making a move in the game. And Ashley's like, yeah, this isn't best friend island. Uh, Ashley, she is, someone who's really climbing my boards as far as somebody I like in this game. But we'll get to why I think she's making a little bit of a mistake here a little bit later. But yeah, I love to see the hunger from these players to win this game. It isn't like last year at this point where we had T-Core Chemo and Rubina just kind of choking everything. That was all about people over profits. We're here to make friends. It's like, no, we're here to make $750,000, play hard, have no regrets, and just try and win that money any way you can. They also end up saying, Ashley and Morgan, that keeping Keanu would be the worst thing for their game. because he would be, really strong moving forward. So they might be leaning towards Keanu as well as somebody that needs to go. All of this kind of went on and on, lots of different conversations here and there, just about everything that's been happening. But eventually the feeds went down for pets for quite a while there. No idea why. Probably just some kind of production thing, fixing something that was broken, getting something ready for Thursday's eviction or whatever. But when the feeds came back, they were dead for a little while. Not much was really happening for a bit, and then they kind of livened up a little bit. We got a couple of more interesting chats towards the end of the night. We ended up Lauren and Ashley having a bit of a one-on-one, and Lauren actually says that to her, like, I can see, us and Ava kind of moving forward in this game. So I hope that, I would have your vote moving forward. And Ashley actually told Lauren, she's like, yeah, if you are up against Kelly, 100% you have my vote. But I'll be honest with you, if you're up against Keanu, I'm about 50-50 with you, Lauren. But after this chat, I'm definitely leaning towards you. Why this is so funny is Vince has been telling Lauren this entire time that Ashley and Morgan have promised to keep Lauren no matter what. So now Ashley's telling her, hey, you know what? Honestly, I'm about 50-50. So that is not great. Ashley also told Lauren that, listen, the only scenario that Kelly is staying this week is if Kelly wins the blockbuster. Otherwise, she is leaving. So they're definitely pushing that end of it. Even though earlier they were talking about how potentially Keanu could be the worst thing for their game if he stays. Now Keanu was ended up having a chat with Vince. They talked about kind of sticking it out with the bros, and we got to ride it to the end. And Keanu tells him that he would end up putting Morgan and Lauren up on the block if he won, and if he wins the veto, he would take Lauren off and put Ashley up on the block as a replacement. But Vince has to promise to vote out Morgan. Like, Morgan has to be the one that would go if it ended up being those two. Because the big thing why he would put Morgan and Lauren up together is so that it kind of forces Vince to have to vote for one of them. And he wouldn't be able to save both of them. So if it ended up with Ashley going up, there would be that chance where Vince could vote to keep Morgan over Ashley. And that would end up kind of messing things up for Keanu. And Vince actually said he would. He absolutely would vote Morgan out in that scenario. I don't know if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he would. And I think this is actually going to be something more that Vince uses to try and get them to keep Lauren over Keanu, because it's like, well, listen, if he's going to end up putting you guys up, right? Wouldn't you rather keep Lauren in the game? Wouldn't that make more sense? Vince and Ashley, though, they end up having a conversation where they end up kind of talking about, hey, maybe we should get Keanu out over Kelly. Maybe he is more of a bigger threat than we thought, right? Maybe this is kind of the moment. And I actually think this is a bad move from these guys. We'll break it down a little bit more with the allegiance chart. Vince says he will break the tie and evict Kelly, though, in the end. So they kind of go back and forth on this. We still have a whole day here to go before the vote would even take place. So I expect them more to have this debate on Kelly and Keanu more and more. And it does seem like, as of right now, that it's leaning more that Kelly would end up leaving than it would be Keanu. But like I said, with Ashley, it seems a little bit different. And we'll talk about that here a little bit more in just a second. But they do start to question whether or not it actually would make sense to vote out Lauren against Keanu. Because if it's an endurance comp and you would end up splitting that trio of Ava, Lauren, and Kelly up, maybe that would end up being best, right? But Vince says, like, listen, I would actually want to talk with, both you and Morgan later to kind of discuss that more. We did, though, while this was all going on, get a Morgan and Lauren chat that went on for a long, and I mean a long time. This might have been at least a 2-hour chat where the two of them were just talking and talking. Really, I should just say Morgan did the talking, where she was just going on and on about all different scenarios and situations. Morgan was telling Lauren that everyone knows that me and Vince are each other's number ones. And it's been this way since week 1. But hey, Lauren, you're not too far behind that. You're not too far behind. You're like a good, like, you know, 1.5. You're his number 1.5. I'm his number one. Everybody knows this. But listen, I promise you, and I promised Vince that I'm gonna protect you, Lauren. I'm gonna protect you. And like I said, they went on for a long, long time, with not much really being said of substance. It was like I honestly, you could have just wiped this conversation out from existence and none of it would probably matter moving forward. Eventually, we did get Kelly, who kind of went on in there because people were waiting, right? Like Vince was outside the HOH room, still kind of waiting to go on in. But eventually, Kelly went on in to kind of break things up. Morgan ended up leaving, and Kelly and Lauren both ended up saying to each other that they think Morgan hates them. We ended up getting Lauren and Kelly kind of keep talking about different things, and they both say that if Keanu goes on Thursday night, the two of them plus Ava really end up controlling the entire rest of the game with their trio. So they really need to kind of keep that intact. Ava ends up telling Lauren that Kelly, though, been freaking her out a little bit. She's like, she's freaking me the F out today. Lauren says, like, I know, right? She does way too much. And, I don't know why she does that, but, she does. And Ava tells Lauren that I think Kelly might even vote for Keanu to stay. Because this morning, Kelly came to her and told her, like, I don't think that Lauren has the votes to stay. So she's like, she's got me all worried. She's got me really worried. And then Ava says this to Lauren. She says, one thing I do know, though, is that Ashley will vote to keep you. She's being very honest and she doesn't lie about votes. So again, Ashley and Ava becoming even closer, kind of pushing Kelly on out there. And this is actually a good bit of Ashley's doing, kind of working on Ava to try and get her over onto her side. We did end up getting Vince, Morgan, and Ashley all kind of getting a little bit of the meetup where they do start kind of questioning whether or not that Lauren should be the one to go against Keanu if Kelly were to win the blockbuster. And Morgan said it would be smart to break up that trio, but with Morgan and Ashley, they had already kind of made their commitment and their words to keep Lauren. So like it would look really bad if they did end up evicting her. And Ashley ends up also kind of pushing like that she just sometimes can't with Keanu, just with how bad his reads are. And she's just like, I really want to evict Keanu. We did end up getting Ava and Vince having a little bit of a chat. And really, this was kind of more just Ava trying to see where things were with Lauren, if Vince would make sure to keep her in the event of the tie. She didn't really seem too concerned with how Kelly was doing with everything. But another kind of interesting thing that Ava brought up was she was saying that no one would take her to the final two because Ava's just a very good person and would end up winning the game. So everyone would rather take someone like Ashley to the final two. So a little interesting there where Ava and Ashley had been kind of, building up this little bit of a relationship, but and Ava's kind of been like, oh yeah, everyone wants to take Ashley to the final two. You might want to boop boop get her out of here. But nobody wants to take me because I'm a good person. I would win this game. So also throwing yourself under the bus and also saying like, yeah, Ashley is somebody everyone wants to take to the final two because she wouldn't win. So maybe you should take her to the final two, Vince. How about that? It's such a weird pitch there from Ava to Vince. But then we also ended up getting Ava talking to Ashley kind of before she headed to beds, just saying that she doesn't know if she can do this anymore, just with everything going on. I think we also had Keanu at one point was kind of pushing on Ava about the vote, so she's just not really feeling it at all. I think one of the reasons she went and had a conversation with Vince was that Keanu conversation might have freaked her out a little bit. The Kelly conversation freaked out a little bit. So Ava's just kind of spinning and spiraling. We then ended up with Ashley getting a little chat to us on the cameras, kind of just saying how she can't stand Keanu. She even blew him a kiss and said if he loses the blockbuster, bye bye. And she's like, he says, like, oh, you don't understand. Bitch, you don't understand nothing in this game, she says. She's like, that's why your ass is up on the block week after week after week. You're only here because you won your way here, not because of your social game. Your social game sucks. And she's like, your reads on the house, they suck. So Ashley's really kind of lost it on Keanu, and that's why I'm not 100% sure what she would do in a situation with Kelly and Keanu. Feels like she actually would be more interested in voting out Keanu over Kelly, even though voting out Kelly breaks up that trio. And we'll talk about this here in just a second. But like I said, this is one of those things where, again, I think Ashley's kind of losing me a little bit here. I think Keanu would end up being better for her game than Kelly because she's trying to slip into that spot that Kelly has with Ava and Lauren, and she's doing a really good job of it. But it feels like if you don't take that shot right now, you might end up losing that opportunity because things happen just so quickly. We do end up getting more Vince and Morgan having their morning night pillow talk conversations. Vince telling Morgan that Lauren kind of implied that she's, you know, he's no longer he's no longer her number one. And Morgan says, it's probably Ava that's her number one. But Morgan also says Ava's number one, probably Ashley. So they're kind of aware that Ashley's trying to pull Ava over a little bit. And Morgan also started pushing more that Lauren should go, especially if she doesn't consider Vince that his number one anymore. And Vince is like, might as well, say this just wasn't my week because it wasn't my week anyway. So whatever you want to do, you can go on doing, Morgan. Morgan says, she's like, well, I'm not saying, I'm gonna do it, just that I'm kind of thinking out loud. I'm verbalizing my thoughts here. And Vince says, Kelly leaving is, the number one priority. And Morgan says, to you. And Vince is like, what? No, like Kelly's gotta go. Like, what are we doing here? And they were still up, kind of talking and chatting as I was recording this, but the feeds kept cutting off on them. They kind of keep getting up every so often in the chat. So hopefully they go and get actually a little bit more sleep tonight, but we'll see how that goes. But thank you guys so much for watching, each and every one of you tuning in every morning. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. It is still amazing to me that even one person watches these videos now that we have over 20,000 subscribers here on this channel. It's insane. So thank you guys so much. But if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all my socials, pinned comment, description down below. Check out things like the Twitter and the Discord. Great place to keep up with everything going on. Discord as well has also been an awesome spot to really hang out with all different kinds of Big Brother fans, but not just Big Brother fans. We got people talking about Survivor, other reality shows, posting pictures of their pets, just kind of hanging out, talking about life. Discord's a great kind of spot to hang out with like-minded Big Brother fans. Check that out as well. You can also check out things like the Ori Fund. Never required, always appreciated. Help support Oris everywhere. Thank you guys all again so much. We will be live once again tonight for our watch parties. We have tonight's watch party and then also tomorrow's watch party. So make sure you come on and check those out as well. Thank you guys all again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Anyway, I was like, if I'm acting like Vinny's girlfriend, I'm acting like the whole house's girlfriend.
Yeah, right?
Like,
you're just the house
just get around.
wife. Yeah, you're the girlfriend of the season.
Damn.
And a damn good one at that, might I say. Everyone loves you.